Hi. I don't even know if I'm. Oh, yeah, I am on the stream. I was like, am I even on the stream? I don't even know. So, can you hear me? Because, as usual, I am screwing around with my headphones, and I'm using different headphones than I normally would. Oh, shit. I don't even think I'm connected to Bluetooth now that I'm looking at it. Hold on. Uno momento. Problem is, hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay, now it should be a lot better. Let me know. Because it was saying that my browser lost connection with my mic. I don't even know what that means, but here we are. So, anyway, I am like not nearly as enthusiastic as I was earlier about going live. So, I have to get back in the mood. But there has been something bothering me on the internet as of late. And there's a lot of things bothering me. But there's been a lot of crazy shit going on on YouTube. But this one thing in particular has caught my attention. There is a woman who goes by the name, well, her channel's Michelle Goes Live. Okay. So we're going to just go by that name, like an MGL, literally MGL, just like Molly Goes Lightly, but not Molly Goes Lightly. But interestingly enough, she got notoriety from Molly Go Lightly because what ended up happening was she had a confrontation with her. Hey, Corner Clubhouse, how are you? Welcome. She got, thank you. I hope the thumbs up means my sound's okay because I'm actually live from my phone. Well, I'm on StreamYard on my phone because I'm having issues again with my laptop. Um, so if it's really shitty, somebody will tell me and I'll figure out something else. But she got her notoriety because she got into some sort of altercation with Molly Golightly, right? I'm quiet. Okay, hold on. Thank you. Let me see if this works. Tell me if it gets louder. Which, for me to be quiet is very unusual. So I'm going to try turning this volume up and then tell me if it makes a difference. Hold on. Let's see. Am I getting louder? Is that better? Tell me if that's too loud now. I was hoping that I ordered these new headphones and I was hoping they were going to be the answer to all my sound issues. Maybe not. Can I also turn it up? Here, let's see. I can turn off this, turn my mic up a little bit. That might be better. Let me know if that's better. It's at 150. I'll leave it at 150. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, good. All right. So here's the thing. With this, Michelle Goes Live. So here's the story. Here's the story as I know it, and I'll drop a link if you guys want to talk about it. She's okay. Thank you. She is somebody that I guess found her way over to Molly Go Lightly, and something happened during a live stream where they had some sort of interaction. Well, there was probably 1,000+ people watching. So the moment this Michelle went live after this interaction to talk about it, she instantly, in my opinion, this is why, had like a ton of people watching her, whether they were hate watching or wanted to know what they were fans of Molly's and they wanted to know how she was going to explain this encounter, whatever. I mean, she ended up with like hundreds of people in her live chat. So her channel grew very, very quickly. But here's the thing. Ever since then, she's had some back and forths with Molly, but majority of her content is her just talking and repeating herself like over and over and over again, and sometimes she tries to cook. Now, I'm not a fan of this woman because I just find her incredibly difficult to listen to. It's if anybody has listened to her, oh, and I don't, I mean, I could try to show some clips, but again, I'm working from, I could try doing it on my laptop, but we'll see. But the biggest issue is that's not even why I wanted to go live, was there was now other channels, right, that she has become their content because she is so bizarre, a little unhinged. I I am just making some, this is just an assumption. I have no proof of this, that maybe there's some substances involved, and she behaves erratically, and it's kind of like a train wreck. You know, we all watch the train wreck. We're all guilty of it, right? Well, I know. So that's part of, I think, the appeal. Hold on one second, guys. So while she may be entertaining us with her strange behaviors, there are people now that have made it their life mission to use her for content, particularly this Amber woman. Hey, like, and yeah, she's bored. I mean, there's nothing like, she doesn't do anything that's like, yeah, she's boring in the sense that there's nothing, what's the word I'm looking for? Like dynamic or appealing, but she just does bizarre stuff. So when you're watching her, I guess like you sometimes can't look away because you're curious what's going to happen next. Now, like I said before, I have a really hard time. Here you go, baby, because she does this thing where she repeats herself over and over and over again, and she keeps repeating like, oh, I got my blue shirt on today. Yeah, yeah. So then I was putting my blue shirt on today, and then I had to get the blue shirt out of the dryer to put the blue shirt on today. Like she does that. It's just really difficult for me to listen to. But anyway, um, yeah, cooking. Yes, that's what I mean. Just 500 or 600 people watching. That's what I mean. Like hit this like really rapid growth, which I think is also maybe can also make somebody very nervous or anxious, and maybe that's why. But the bigger issue is the what has gone on with her, like I guess haters or the people that want to come out against her for whatever reason. I don't know like what she's done to make these people hate her so much, to the point where this one creator in particular named Amber has somehow found her ex-husband and has made him like part of her show and like destroying this woman, Michelle Goes Live, and really talking about some sensitive stuff. I mean, first of all, I mean, how much worse can you get than to go drag somebody's ex onto your live stream on YouTube to talk about them and what they did 30 years ago in their marriage? Like, it's just gross. But hey, YB, hi, Finding Hope. I saw you. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't say hi, guys. I was just gabitzing and talking, and I wasn't paying attention. Um, but yeah, so they bring her this guy on to kind of just destroy her, right? And I guess her whole point is to prove that she lies, like she lies about stuff. I'm not sure exactly what they're concerned she's lying about. That she's lying about something that happened in her life. She maybe has told the story during a live stream, something that she experienced 20 years ago, and they want to bring the ex-husband on to just disprove this, to say, oh, that's not how it went down. But I'll tell you what really got my goat. Okay? Now, you guys know that, like, sometimes some things are left open to interpretation, but then there's also this misinformation, right? So, a couple things were happening with this girl. One was a very terrible thing. I don't even feel comfortable talking about it, but I feel like if I don't talk about it, I can't like get my point across, so I'm going to. Um, she has spoken about it on her own channel, which gave these women, I guess, the ammunition they needed to talk about it and then ask this ex-husband about it. But she did have she lost her infant, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15, 18 years ago, to SIDS. And listen, I am not cheerleading for this woman by any means. I don't think she she has done, I guess, her fair share of shitty stuff. But I think she's more of like, I don't know. I just don't think she should be people's content. And I don't think her trauma should be people's content. And I don't think her loss of her child, which she said was from SIDS, should be content. And I don't think that other creators that don't know these people from Adam should be making it their mission to disprove that this baby lost its life from anything other than SIDS. No, I'm not charging. Am I getting the crackling? Ugh. Okay, hold on. I'll be back. Okay, is that better? Let me know if that's better. I'm going to have to go into a different room, though. See, I can't get on my... I'm going to jump over to my laptop. If it's still crackling, I'm not charging. But there is a lag, right? So I might have unplugged it. And then you asked that. Okay, good. Better? Okay, good. So here's what I was saying. These women had make it their mission now, or this one particular woman and whoever she does her panels with, to prove that, like, one thing in particular that I caught the other night was that this baby didn't die of SIDS. And, like, why? Like, so they have the ex-husband up there and he's saying that, like, he has a lot of questions about that night, and oh my God, it was terrible. It was just terrible, the stuff they were saying. And I just don't understand why people are not, like, I don't know, maybe this is just me and the people that I tend to associate with or hang around with. Like, I didn't see anybody being like, this is really not YouTube content. This is not YouTube fodder. This really isn't entertaining. If anything, it's cruel, but it's also creating a narrative that some sort of crime happened when it didn't. And that's really what they were implying. And then they also made references to this baby being born. Some of you may have known the terminology, like, I hate this word, but this is what was said in the past. I'm just talking about culturally, like crack babies or babies born addicted to drugs. The scientific or the medical term is NAS, neonatal abstinence syndrome. Okay, so NAS, N like Nancy, A like Apple, S like Sam. And they were speaking about this baby and that she tested positive for marijuana or something. And I'm thinking, like, how do these women even know this? But they're getting the information, I guess, from the ex-husband, and that this baby must have been suffering from withdrawal and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. But again, you have another 1,000 people in a live stream all like rah-rahing this and saying, yes, that must have been what happened. And I don't know, this is the kind of stuff that just one of those things on YouTube that irritates me. And then I want to talk about it because I feel like there has to be other people out there that have common sense and are like, yeah, you're right. Like, that is really shitty. And that's, yeah, I did hear that, or I didn't hear that, or maybe I'm wrong. And then tell me I'm wrong. But something needs to be like, I don't know. This woman, Michelle, goes live to me, not saying she's a good person. I certainly am not a supporter. I find, like I said before, difficult to listen to, but she shouldn't, I just don't think she should be content for other creators. I kind of liken it to the Mrs. P stuff, but it's definitely different than the Mrs. P stuff. Let me see if I can drop a link. I'm going to try to do it from my phone, guys. I don't know if I can, so bear with me. All right, I'm going to try. Did I kick myself from my own? I might have. Sorry if I did. Okay. I'm going to try now. We're going to try. Plus, I thought one of my little one would have been taking a nap, but I think we're getting past the napping stuff. Yes, thank you. Good. Ashy Cat is a great example. Thank you. But different dynamic. Excellent example. Finding Hope. Thank you. So for anybody that was around during that, what's wrong with her? I just feel like she might be. You're right. Why she shouldn't be content? Okay, let me restate that. I think that what they're using for content, like she and what she does on YouTube, sure, can be content. I'm talking about people right now. That's maybe I need to
correct that. Fine. The shit she pulls on YouTube, the behaviors on YouTube, what I think shouldn't be content is finding her ex-husbands, because there's more than one apparently, going through their divorce decrees, questioning these men, allowing these men to talk about things that are not proven, because again, they're the ex. I don't know. I just feel like that's just distasteful. So maybe saying allowing or not allowing is not the right word. I think supporting maybe is a better way to say it. Like, I just think that that's gross, and I'm not going to support that. But yes, Ashy Cat is a great example because, like, if you there was a way to kind of cover her and talk about it, but without being voyeurs of her, like, basically on the verge of, you know, overdosing or whatever was going to happen with her. Whereas this one, she's not like actively using, but it's hard to kind of pinpoint. Is it like a psychosis? Is it something psychological? Is it induced? Is it alcohol? Is it, some other type of substance? That's where it gets like a little tricky. But I think that I should have worded it better with saying that the shit with her in her past maybe should not be content. That stuff, to me, first of all, you it it's so hard to prove what's right or what's wrong, right? You're taking the word of an ex husband or wife or whoever you're going to interview. The documents that exist, which again, I don't even think anybody should be looking into. I just find it just not my style, but that do exist on the death of that child, says that it was Sid's. Okay. She was not charged with anything. She was not charged with a crime. I mean, this is kind of a thing. Like, yeah, I don't know. But so if she puts it out there, it's fair game. Yes, to a certain degree. But yes, I agree. If you're going to talk about it on your channel, then people are going to be able to talk about it as well and cover it. But there's stuff that she didn't put out. There's things, like I said, with her ex-husbands where they dredged up all this stuff. Now, apparently, I have not witnessed this. Yes. I didn't witness this, so I don't know if this is true or not. Apparently she has badmouthed, which I don't know. I didn't see this part, so I'm not going to say it's true or not true because I haven't watched all her streams. Like I said, I've only caught bits and pieces. That she has maybe trash talked or badmouthed her exes. So it does kind of put us in a unique position. Well, do they get to come and defend themselves? Well, yeah, of course. But I think there's a difference between like the ex-husband or wife firing up a live or another creator actively seeking them out to be like, hey, your ex-wife is on YouTube saying you were an asshole of a husband or something. I don't know. I just don't like it. Exactly. Well, bartender, that gets into a whole nother realm of, I mean, we've seen this for so long now, like talking about people's finances, the way they live or how they live, whether they live in a mansion or they live in a condominium or they live in a trailer. Like, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. And of course, like, I just don't like to say, we've seen this before where people have searched out ex-partners of YouTube creators to use them as some sort of a weapon against somebody they don't like. And I don't like that. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we should be able to form our opinion about people on YouTube and creators and live streamers and stuff based on the content that they're putting out. Like, you don't have to be best. Like, if you like something that somebody does, great. If you don't, fine. But like, AYB said, we don't need to do a background check to see if, like, that's just so crazy to me. It's so above and beyond. Oh yeah. And I agree. Like, and if they're scamming people through YouTube, right? So if they're getting on their platform, collecting funds, raising money, I think that it's worth, if somebody thinks that it's fake, it's being done under false pretense, then it should, it's worth looking into and explain to people. I've certainly been part of things that were along those lines of bringing attention to people that maybe were doing some really shitty stuff, right? Absolutely. And if they are going to put information out there and you want to vet it to a certain degree, maybe. But there's just a line. I feel like there's a line, and maybe it's a very fine line where it just goes too far. It just goes too far. Yeah, shouldn't be spotlighted. Exactly. Really unfortunate things like talking about that baby. I don't know how much she talked about it, but even if she did, even if she said, this is like a good example of maybe what I'm trying to explain. Like, even if this woman came on and said, listen, I had this terrible experience and it's part of me, it's part of why I am the way I am or something, and that's that. To dig into that any further, for any person on here that's had experienced some sort of loss or trauma, I think is where it goes too far. Like, we don't need to vet that. That is not going to change anything. That's not going to, like, again, she wasn't raising money for that. Maybe people consider it sand fishing. I don't know. Hi, teacher mom. Yeah, of course. There's always gonna be excuses. Listen, I'm sure I've crossed the line. Oh my God, I didn't realize I had that banner up. I just looked at my laptop and saw it. Hold on. Oops. That was just silly one day when I think me and Finding Hope were doing a live stream a long time ago. Yeah, I just wonder what makes her. So if you look at when she first, so as far as this woman, this Michelle goes live. Sorry, I had to help close the fake baby race cereal.
No, baby.
There, it's closed. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yep, there you go. Oh, it's real food. I'm sorry. So, I had a brain fart. There should be a line, but some make excuses why they cross it. Oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. Crackling again? I wonder if it's where I stand. Okay, I'm moving. I'm relocating back to where I was, where you guys said it was better. It's when I'm by my laptop. I wonder if that somehow makes a difference. Yeah, she's definitely awake. She's playing with her babies. Let me know if it doesn't get better, and then I can try jumping on the laptop, or I'll end it because I know it's annoying to listen to it like that. What I was going to say about crossing the line, I'm sure we've all, if you've ever done a live stream, participated in a live stream, jumped on a panel, or commented in a live stream, you may at some point in your experience here on YouTube may have thought you crossed the line, or you did. I for sure know that I have. I know for sure that I've said things I regret saying, talked about things I should not have talked about, participated in things I should not have participated in. But I like to think that maybe I learned from that, and try to get away from that. But I think with this particular woman, what makes her so, there is like a community that is like really dedicated to covering her specifically, right? And I think part of that is the rapid growth she had, in the sense that I think if you go and look at her channel, not when the channel was made, but her very first stream was probably 4 weeks ago, maybe 5. And she has a couple thousand subs. And I think, like I might have said before, she will get sometimes, I've seen at times when she's live, 700 people in her chat. So unless somebody is like maybe buying views or something, but it just seems to have happened very, very quickly. And what's the phenomena? Like, why? It can't just be because she got in a fight with Molly Golightly. I mean, a lot of people get in fights with Molly Golightly and go back and forth with her. Maybe because it was the absurdity, like the two of them together is like, woo, it's like Chernobyl. I don't know, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was just like, what makes this one woman so fascinating, captivating, so hated? Like, what about her is so garners the amount of attention that she has gotten? So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Plus, even today, I was like just peeking over at her channel and some of her community posts, and she had these pictures again and again. She put it out there, so I understand why people's going to comment, but it looked like pictures in a medical setting, and people are examining every little detail down to the sticker on the IV infusion, whatever it was, and the expiration dates and things like that. Like, it's just wild. Oh gosh, well, hope we know that, and I mean, that is something I've learned, especially around YouTube, with that whole, I'm going to say the word wrong, perseverance. I always say it's not perseverance. That's not how you say it. You know how to say it. Maybe you could put it phonetically, where they have become super hyper focused and obsessed on one thing. It's frustrating though, because I will say this, even though I know that the person is not well, right? That there's a reason they may behave like that. It's still hard to not become frustrated, annoyed with certain behaviors, because it's just, you're human and we're all human. Oh, good point, teacher mom. So I'm glad you said that. That really is good. That's a great way to explain the situation with her. She shares too much and lets people troll her into sharing even more. What do you think is the underlying issue with Michelle Goes Live? Do you think it is something that's out of her control, or do you think it's something that's more along the lines of substances, or do you think that she is not well? Like, which of course, if she's abusing substances, she's not well. But I think you guys, what I mean, is this a mental health thing, not outside of addiction, or is there something else going on? Do you think, if you've watched her, do you think she's fair game for YouTube content creators? And what's your opinion on the situation with her ex-husband and that Amber show? Perseverate. I always want to say I don't know why I want to add an ANCE in there. Oh, I moved back into the bad spot again, so I may start to crackle for a second. Yeah, so you can't visibly see that there's something wrong with these certain people. They look healthy, they look well, so it's hard to kind of sometimes remember that they're not. Because let me tell you, there is certain people, I've tried to have sympathy, I've tried to be patient, I've tried to ignore, and I know they're not well, and I still can't help sometimes. They just get at my goat so bad. Any YouTube creator is fair game. Okay, that's a fair statement. Any YouTube creator is fair game. I agree. And we mentioned before about crossing the line. Do you think so? Can we all agree that reaching out to anybody on YouTube's family, whether it be their children, parents, lovers, ex-lovers, ex-husbands, like, that's not right? Nobody's gonna, I hope nobody co-signs that. That to me is when it goes too far. For sure, one of the many things that goes too far. I mean, there is an ongoing war right now in the trauma community, which is so upsetting, because things have crossed lines and levels and gone to places that is disappointing. So many people have made mistakes. And I think we just need, yes, we should stick to what the creator does online, not personal stuff. That's always what we say. But I feel like the majority of us feel that way. But then shit like this happens. I feel like so many of us say this. There is enough, when somebody's an asshole, there's enough stuff that they do right on YouTube that can be content. Why we have to delve into their, stuff that's not online. It's just that I guess will be the forever question in these types of communities, because I don't know if it's because they are small in comparison, so people are a little bit more dedicated to these creators. I don't know. But it's frustrating to see unfold. It's hurtful, so incredibly hurtful. And the thing about her baby, really, with that Michelle Goes Live with the SIDS and stuff, that really just, that's when, like, I started thinking about doing this live, when I was watching that woman Amber talk about SIDS just speak so incorrectly about it, making so many assumptions, and then all these people assuming that that's what happened when not a single one of them was there and there's no record of it, and then talking about testing positive for marijuana after your baby's born and your baby's suffering from withdrawals. It just was really, I don't know, it was just really pissing me off, and it just made me want to talk about this and kind of get other people's opinions on it. Yeah, so I always say this, Kikalani, I always say this, that when is the point that you say, as somebody on YouTube, because I already know what one opinion of this is going to be, that is enough and you walk away. When do you say enough is enough and you walk away? So that is my question. When do you say you're going to fight back, because that can get very, very dirty? When do you ignore it? And when do you say enough is enough and you walk away? Hold on, hold on a second. Oh, I'm just gonna hope for the best. Okay, you're not a porn bomber, right?
That depends.
Oh, thank goodness. I couldn't find that stupid banner to put, or whatever you call it, overlay thing to put up, and I was like, I hope this is not one of those people with the porns ready to go.
You lucked out. It was just not a literal dick, but a figurative dick.
Yes. Well, I can handle that as long as I don't have to shut it down and start over and all that kind of crap. How are things been?
Been all right. You know, I've been trying to keep my nose clean, keep yourself out of trouble and stuff. Just making some content and stuff. It was interesting because I kind of went up against a similar brick wall about like a week or two ago on the Mrs. P situation. I mean, I don't know if you're still subbed to me, if you're even watching.
Yeah. No, I've been distracted with other things, but I saw your stream about when you were saying that, like, that's it, like you learned some information and you were moving on, basically.
Yeah, it's basically like, you know, I agree there should be a line in how you go at people on here. It's just everyone kind of draws their own arbitrary lines, you know, based on whatever perceptions or values or morals they have. When people talk about morals, it's the most infuriating discussion ever, because it's like, where the fuck do you derive these morals from when it comes to online etiquette? Like, where is are these morals in the fucking like 10 Commandments? Like, where did you get these morals from?
Because they're all based on individual experiences, right? So, like,
it's all subjective. So
like,
if morals aren't supposed to be subjective, they're supposed to be for everybody, like across the board, the same, right?
Right, but
so if that's the case, then who's making the rules?
Well, that's
I
think we can only rule ourselves, right, and hold ourselves to a higher standard. But
right,
then again, you can't.
It has to do with, like, are you trying to hold yourself accountable to your own behavior and keep yourself in line? You know, some moral standard. It doesn't have to be the same as someone else's moral standard. It just has to be some kind of moral standard.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Now, here's I think you'll be able to speak from an interesting perspective here. Go ahead. So about the when does it go too far when people are covering another creator, and where, like, you know, with the digging into people's personal lives and weaponizing maybe past traumas, criminal history, experiences, things that were not meant for YouTube, but somebody went and found it, not the creator putting it out there, but somebody went and found it and then brought it onto YouTube. I mean, I think that should be across the board. People should be, like, appalled by that. I mean, we saw, I will use Tiffany as an example, because I was really upset with what was being done to her, and that was terrible. And people pulling this stuff out and terrible things being said, which was not true, and then used it as like a almost like as
a bludgeon to attack her with.
Just a
and they're still doing it today.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's it. So I kind of, a lot, like, in my mind said, like, we've seen this happening in, like, the trauma community with some other people right now, and with this woman that I'm specifically speaking about, with this incident with 25, 30 years, I don't know, it was a long time ago, right? It was a very long time ago. And the death of this baby, like she might have talked about it, but going and finding the ex-husband to say that maybe it was a crime, it wasn't Sid's, I think that's going a little too far.
Well, okay. So you've no doubt seen my All In with Ari content, right?
Yes, but okay, go ahead. I know. Go
So
ahead.
the only reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm basically trying to set myself up as not as because I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here. Um, because there have been a lot of internet sleuths who have looked up like her criminal records, put them on blast. I was one of them. We showed the court documents that prove that she was lying about how, like, that she even had a baby at all, and that she left her baby in Arkansas. And after 10 days of after it dropped on the floor, hitting its head, she lied to the doctor about how it happened. He was able to spot pretty easily, like just from the injuries sustained, that she was lying. And so here the thing is, when someone comes out here and they're trying to scam people and kind of take advantage of their goodwill and people's good natures to try to ingratiate themselves and get money or views or whatever and sell like a lie to people, I feel like people have some kind of obligation to expose that stuff so people know who they're donating to, or who they're supporting. Now, to me, that's like more on the scamming, grifting side of things. Okay. When it comes to like personal vendettas, where someone just wants to get revenge, and so they go into someone's personal life to contact their ex, and because they hate them so much and they want to just hurt them and harass them as much as possible. To me, it has everything to do with the intent and not so much the act itself. It's like, what is your intent
Well, yeah,
behind
and
why
I
you're
think
doing this?
that's where, yes, hold on one
Because
second.
I've also had like my share of internet stalkers who have cyber stalked my life, tried dredging up everything they could, doxed me to hell and back, and my family. Some even continue to do it to this day.
Uh-huh.
And they do it specifically to harass me, not to expose me, to harass me.
Yeah. So, and
You
that's
know?
where I mentioned like before about like, well, when somebody's using their or using YouTube or any platform, it could be TikTok, whatever, to
Mhm.
to raise money, right? And it's
Right,
based on a lie. That I
right.
think can be in its own category. And we've seen a lot
Yeah.
of people that want to expose the grift and the scammers, and that's reasonable to, I
Mhm.
think, to especially if what they're raising money on is a lie. But like you said, when it's more like as a vendetta, um, hey Bacardi, or more as a just to be hurtful for no other reason. There's no
Right.
money involved. There's
Bullying, harassment, just to
yes,
make someone else's life as miserable as you
exactly.
can. That to me is more disturbing,
Yeah.
you know?
It's to run people off, like just because you don't like their opinions or you don't like
Hmm.
their take on something. I mean, we've talked about
Right.
this a long time ago.
Like
You just
canceling people because you don't like their opinions,
exactly.
Yeah. So for me, I've always been more about the why and not so much the what, you
And
know?
yes, makes sense. Yes, and that's a better way to probably put it. Is well, what is I mean, not that I do think though, even when exposing, I mean, I do think there is always, but like you said, that's really up to the individual. There's a
Hmm.
line that maybe I would never cross, even if
Right.
my purpose of coming here was to expose somebody for grifting or scamming or something or doing something really terrible to somebody else. Like I just certain things I don't think I would talk about, but I guess that's up to the individual. But when you do,
Right.
very good way to differentiate it. But when it's being done just to hurt, just
Right.
to make somebody's life miserable, hey, navigator.
Yeah, there's also another thing, like especially with the All In with Ari thing. She said that she came from an abusive relationship, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of people that are very skeptical about it because she omitted a lot of details, and she just kind of fibbed about a lot of parts of her story. So some people did some investigating and to see if she was actually being truthful, that she was being abused, because false allegations are a thing, and
Well, that's
I'm
a
a
whole nother.
huge proponent of
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
So you can't just come out here and say, I was abused, my boyfriend, because people once they found out who she was, that was going to get tied back down to the person she used to be with, and people are going to start spreading rumors and say this guy is abusive and he might lose jobs. You know what I mean?
Of course, I mean we've
So
seen other
so
folks.
there's harm that what implicit to what these people are putting out. And so I'm not saying you have like a moral obligation to expose them, because honestly, I don't think anyone needs to do anything on here. It's YouTube, it's content. People
Mm-hmm.
are out for themselves on here, super cynical outlook, whatever. But at the same time, it's like the slander that people put out here can destroy lives. So I think there is value in exposing that.
If I think, yes, if it's especially if it's accusations. I mean, we've seen it where people are accusing someone of a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it could affect their job, it could affect their families, it could affect their livelihood, it could affect a lot of things, because now it's been said on a public platform that you have to be accountable for that if you're going to make
Right.
accusations. But I say it in the same sense with this woman. Michelle goes live. I don't want to say MGL because it'll confuse people, even though she goes by that. But this Michelle goes live, it was like this other woman basically accusing her of being responsible for the death of that baby. That really triggered me for some reason. I don't know why. Just in the moment, I was like, you cannot. I don't know why. I just felt in that moment, it just triggered me. I don't know. I wanted to talk about it because I was like, you have 500 people in here co-signing this just because you said it so. Like, it's just
Right.
crazy.
Well, here's what I've also found out about these drama communities, especially Krama, whatever.
Oh, Krama in particular.
There's literally two different, or possibly three different, like, topics that you women love to discuss. Okay. One, you lied about this.
Yeah.
And whatever it is you lied about, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you lied about this being your name, your signature, or whatever. Okay, you're big on pointing out lies, while all of y'all are the biggest fucking liars ever. Anyway,
go ahead.
And then second to that is, you're a shitty mother, or watch your kids, or something like that. And then the inverse of that, don't you dare talk about my kids.
Yes. Well,
okay, and it's just the back and forth of just that talk forever.
Yeah.
That's the drama in these communities. Remove those two things and y'all have nothing.
I think you're right, particularly the lying, yes, but I think that can trickle over into even other places. But the parenting and the kids, that is huge. It was huge even in parts of the smaller true crime community. It would come up a lot about how people parent, or
yes, I say you women because it's 95% women in these communities. So yes.
But yeah, so
the numbers speak for themselves. Do the analytics.
Especially in like that Krama is a lot more.
True crime is actually a female demographic. Go look it up.
Yeah. And then also when you go even into like the DC, into like the original drama community, that's all mostly, there's like men that come from other places stuff, but it's a lot of like women centered. So of course, but it's an easy, and I think it's an easy dig, right? It's an easy, if you want to get some action, if you want to get some traction, if you want to get people in your chat, if you want to get people, you call somebody a shitty parent, right? Or you say that their kids aren't being taken care of, and then it will snowball. And again, it is ridiculous. Like I've said this, like none of us know what anybody else is doing in their home. I hate that.
We have someone who's triggered in the chat. I don't want to mispronounce your name.
No, Kigolani, I don't think he means all women. I just think he means that in that. I mean, how I'm interpreting it is he doesn't mean every single woman. He means there's all women in that community. It's all women calling each other bad parents, bad moms.
And they're all talking about that same thing. I mean, if it's 99%, I'm going to say all.
I have never heard in my time on YouTube anybody say to a male creator, "You're a really shitty father."
Right, watch your kid, shitty dad.
But like Finding Hope said, we have seen a lot of this. A lot of people being accused of being that pedos or whatever. Or
yep. That's an easy dig at men. Just call them a pedo or gay if you're getting really petty.
Yes, like weaponizing sexuality. We've seen that the pedo thing is big. I've even seen it go
or his penis. Talk about his penis constantly.
I've even seen it go as far as saying like that they have a history of sexual assault or things like that. No evidence to support that. And
just making shit up and just for clicks and views, and that's fine. You know?
That's like, I know this is like the oldest discussion. I know it is. I remember 2 years ago talking about like, well, can't everybody just agree? I mean, you can never get everybody to agree on anything, but just say like, okay, can we just keep it to the surface, like what we see on YouTube, and work off that? There's
The
plenty.
answer is no, and I'll tell you why.
course.
Okay. These people are not very creative. Okay. And when I say that, I mean that includes intelligence. All right. They don't have the, I guess the scope of knowledge to be able to draw upon to discuss other interesting things. And plus, it doesn't get as many people watching. You want to attack someone personally. That's the whole point, right?
Yes.
So, what do you know about someone personally in a trauma community? Well, they're a mother, right?
Yeah.
And they have kids. Well, you're a shitty mother, because that's what a lot of moms here pride themselves on, right? Being a good mother, right?
Sure.
You know, the other thing might be like, oh, I get bigger numbers than you, but that's more of like a general,
Yeah, I've
thing.
seen too. I've seen a lot of the number stuff, but I think you're right. I think it's like kind of a known, like an almost, what is it, like low hanging fruit? I think that's what they
Yes,
say.
low hanging fruit. Yes.
You know, target somebody's parenting. I mean, it's just like targeting somebody's looks. I mean, I think it all goes.
It's just dull and boring and uninteresting, and it's like, just get some new content. Criticize something else, and try to criticize something other than looks or parenting or numbers or donations.
Yeah.
How about this? How about you guys criticize the content?
Yes, I was just
Right?
gonna say,
Like, I don't like your coverage of the Kylie Rodney thingy, because she dead girl and it was accident.
Exactly. And people turned it into a true crime case, and you know, but it that way.
See, that's
but
a more provocative, interesting kind of subject to discuss. It's less dull. It's more open ended. We can have a discussion about the layers of what happened and all that. With "you're a shitty mom," there's not much more you can go in depth on that.
And I think that's
And that's where the CPS calls comes into play, and the cop calls and all this other stuff, and going real life and contacting exes and all that, because they have no fucking creativity.
Well, again, it kind of goes back to that. I mean, the same nomenclature is just what's going too far. But we see it has almost become. I mean, I remember a time where I would have, like, I don't know, maybe like not even open the app again. Like, if I knew that people were just calling CPS on people for literally no reason, wasting government resources and time and a bunch of other stuff. But now it's become like, oh, you call CPS on me, now I'm going to call them on you. And it's happening like regularly.
It's just a petty tit for tat. It just goes back and forth forever, because no one really wants to stop.
And you're right. I mean, I guess maybe some people do enjoy I don't know. I would think
they do.
They
do. And there's a number of factors for why they do. One, attention. They're not getting the attention they would need in real life, so they get it online, right? That's how they feel validated. It's nice. I'll be honest. It's nice to feel like you're popular and you have a lot of people watching.
Yeah, giving you money and
the donations.
Between donation, like you said,
that's another big factor. If you're getting a lot of donations for doing shit talk on people, then that's going to spur. That is going to motivate you and incentivize you to keep going.
Yeah, it's like Pavlov's dogs, right? So but then like you said, if we could keep it to talking about content, because I think there's a fair, like, not fair is probably not the right word, but there's plenty, like I've said a million other times, there's plenty of stuff to pick apart that somebody does, let's just say on a live stream alone. If you really want to talk about somebody, how they talked about a certain true crime in particular would be a case, but even their, maybe just something else that they did on YouTube, or the way they behaved somewhere. I don't know. There's a million other things you could talk about, kept it to the internet. But I think, Hope, what I wanted to say when I saw your comment about what do people care about what strangers think about their parenting, I think, like you said, if you're confident and you really are somebody that can walk away, and maybe, like, I do think that there's an innate any of us, when we feel passionate about something, so whether it's our children or our spouse or whatever, where you want to defend, right? You want to, and I think some people can't just ignore. Where I've always been the person that I don't like confrontation. I don't want to argue with people. I would ignore it until it went away. If it was something on YouTube, obviously, I don't need to like. I think I could be able to ignore it until and just been like, I'm not going to give them the time of day or the breath. But I do think there's some people that just have to defend. They just feel like they have to defend themselves. I don't know that I would be that person. I think I'd be like, I'm not even going to pay it much mind. But I
Why
think
would you feel the need to defend yourself to perfect strangers on the internet?
I'm saying I wouldn't. I feel like I would be able to ignore it and not even feed into it. But I do think people feel like they have to defend themselves for whatever reason.
Right. Well, that's what I'm asking. Is like, why feel that?
Maybe
You know?
maybe it is
Aren't
more.
you confident enough in yourself and your life?
Yeah.
Like, just say there's a golden phrase that people used to say a long time ago before the internet. You know what it was? Fuck them.
What is it?
Fuck them.
Oh, fuck them. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Fuck them.
Yeah.
You're right. Fuck them, and who cares? They're strangers. I mean, I say that to myself. Like I've said it to friends of mine that have been upset about something like on the internet. Like, who cares? These people mean absolutely nothing. They don't pay your bills. They don't sign your paycheck. They don't sleep in your bed at night. They don't put the groceries in your fridge. So like, who cares? What is it? 3 Fs. They don't finance
Exactly.
you, fuck you, or feed you. So
Some
why do
people
we care?
they legit don't have like their lives together. So I think they come on here as like an outlet because they're frustrated in their real lives, you know?
Yeah. No, there's definitely, I think maybe people that this is their adult, maybe like their way of having adult interactions, especially when
Remember
you're,
having a diary when you were a kid?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah,
private.
like that.
That was private. Nobody was reading that besides you, right?
Right.
But now maybe
But
we're
here
used,
you have an incentive to read your diary out for every
yeah.
fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's money and views. Like, oh my God, everyone loves me and they pay me. Yay, I'm a good person and I got money.
Yeah. I
It's
think,
literally like you're a baby and you're getting like pats on the ass and like,
yeah.
getting like a pacifier and bottle and baba. You got your baba and all this stuff. Like it's literally like a adult daycare.
Oh, that's a good way to explain it. I like to come on YouTube and I like to even to fire up a live stream here and there because I do like the discourse and like the conversation and like somebody said
But you're more of an intellectual type,
well,
There's intellectuals and then there's just gossipers, right? People literally run gossip channels and then they claim to be like hot shit.
Oh wait, I have a really funny thing. Hold on, I want to show it. Hold on. Let me figure out how to do this. Hold on. Oh crap, I'm not
It's
gonna
like
be
if
able
you
to
have
do
a gossip channel, you ain't shit.
gossip,
You know what I mean?
like the old fashioned like the Sally Just not Sally Just yeah, Sally Ricky Lake, like the Maury Povich,
Right.
the day
They all want to be like the next fucking Oprah or whatever.
yeah.
I'm sure there's a whole swath of like soccer moms out there who want to be the next fucking Oprah.
Oh man, well I mean who wouldn't want to be the next Oprah? Come on now. I mean I
But
would like
I
some
bet you like that's like in the back of all these bitches' minds. Like they're not gonna say it out loud, but that's what they all think.
Maybe. I mean I think there's maybe a certain group that think that, especially when you see people like
Yeah,
kind of
certain demographic within the demographic.
Yeah, or they become monetized very quickly. They make a lot of like maybe cash apps and PayPals like before they're monetized even, or before they even can get a super chat. There's somebody's giving them a lot of money, or when they do get the ability to get super chats, then suddenly you feel like, oh my gosh, people like what I have to say. And I think there's a certain amount of that's certainly normal. That there are people I like to hear what they say. There is a lot of people that creators that I could just sit and listen to because I just enjoy their take on certain things, or I think they're funny or whatever. But then there is, a point where it is just, I don't know, this might be a little, I'll say, I'm sorry about the dogs, guys. It's not my house. It's my neighbor's, where it
That's
is.
fine. I'm in the supermarket, so I'm sure I'm making noise.
No, I don't hear anything come from your side, but it's just mean, a place to be mean and hurtful and just
Mhm.
purposely, like you said, like, you know what, I'm gonna start a live stream because I hate John Smith so much that I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm gonna go live to just destroy him or her or whoever. There is
Yep.
that goes on, and
Yeah,
that's just not fun to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I've listened to it. I am guilty. Like I said before, when I first started, I have
we're
participated
all guilty.
in things. Yes, I have said things I regret. I have cheered things on, maybe not so publicly, but in the background, that I regret. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I feel like that what makes one person different from the other is like some of us have been around and we kind of learn and grow from that and realize like that's exhausting. First of all, let me tell you something. The people that go live every day to just like that takes so much emotional energy. I don't know. Like even after this live stream now, and we're having like a nice conversation, like a great chat, which is people talking about, good, in my opinion, just a chat, a discourse, a conversation. Those
Mhm.
people that get on live streams for hours screaming and yelling and fighting with one another and doing these panels, I will not go live again for weeks even after this because it's exhausting. Like I don't
Right.
get, to me, I don't know. It's just, oof, it's a lot. It's
It's a lot to listen to. It's stressful,
heck,
but some
stressful.
people, for them, it's, I don't know. I think it's cathartic. Like,
Maybe, maybe, yeah, maybe it
I
is.
think some people, they might be like dealing with stuff in their real lives that they're not um, handling, and so the
Mhm.
drama helps them like distract themselves from it.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's true. When you see other people in chaos, it is a good distraction from your own chaos. I mean, geez, that's why sometimes I watch, certain movies is to shut my brain off. I had a crazy day at work. I don't want to think about anything important because I just dealt with a lot of heavy, important stuff. I want to watch, you know, old Simpsons episodes or something like that, just
Right.
to not have to think. But I just couldn't imagine getting out of work and coming on here and fighting with people. I just couldn't do it.
Really, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll hop in a chat here and there, and
What are you, some kind of freak?
well, I've been told. So, what else? Any plans for Halloween, Lincoln? Do you dress up? Do you go to parties? Do you do anything exciting?
Um, no, I don't. You'd have to have like a social life to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, by the way, anyone who likes to put down my social life and say I don't have any friends, let's see your fucking friends because I haven't seen any of them.
Well, I wouldn't worry
People
about
out there who like to criticize,
who's worried about
it's
your
like I
friend.
never see them with anybody else. They're always online bitching about somebody, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't worry about what anybody, unless you're interacting with them off of
Right.
live stream, thinks about what your social life is like.
Mhm.
Do you get trick or treaters and stuff, or no?
Um, I don't know. I don't think they would bother coming up to the second story of this condo I live in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we would go up to the condos and the townhouses, but I think mostly people would sit outside, if I remember correctly, and give out stuff. And here it's a little bit different, but my kids are going to
Hmm.
go afternoon. They're going to trick or treat. One is Link, um, like the Link for Breath of the Wild Link, and the other
Ooh,
one's a mummy.
nice. You
So
bought a Breath of the Wild
I,
Link
I
costume?
yes, so I was able to find the tunic and the belt and stuff, but I could not get a cloak, and he was okay with it. But I was desperately on the search. If I had time, I would have paid somebody to make it, because that to me is the what is that word I'm looking for? The the most important part of the costume is that damn cloak, but I could not get one, not in a timely fashion. Like I could have got one from China, but it'll be here after Christmas.
Hmm. Okay.
But yeah, so we got the tunic and the belt and the sash and the I mean, we just have khaki pants that would work, and the boots,
Right.
and the other one's a mummy, and that was easy. Mummies are easy to do.
That's
Yeah,
neat.
so we'll go well, I gotta work tomorrow. I got a busy day tomorrow, but they'll go after work trick or treating. I mean, Halloween on a Monday. Here is my petition. If I ever run for political office, this is my campaign is going to be.
Oh,
I'm
I
going to
think
run.
I'm already gonna like it.
What's that?
I said I think I'm already gonna like what you're about to
Yeah,
say.
this is what number one thing my first law. Halloween from here on out will be on the last Saturday of October,
I like it.
right?
I
Why
like it.
do we Halloween on a Monday is
That feels wrong, you know?
it feels wrong. It
Yeah.
feels wrong. And you want to know what else? You can't even like
It
last
feels
year in the
wrong, but it is wrong. That's how I feel.
Same thing as the Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl, if you're a football fan, which I'm not, but I mean, people like to have Super Bowl parties and have fun. It should, same thing. Why is it on a
Yeah,
Sunday?
there's a lot of stupid people out there. I agree.
So that's going to be my first law when I'm empress of the world,
Mhm.
is Halloween will forever be on the last Saturday of the month. I think that would be good. I think much more people would be engaged. It would be fun, right? I just
Mhm.
celebrated my birthday yesterday, in case anybody cares.
You had a
I
what?
I said my birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. My whole life, it has always been about like a Halloween party. Like growing up, my mom always did a costume Halloween party for my birthday, no matter what. So, I didn't do that though for my birthday. We had tacos and tequila. Well, I didn't have tequila.
So Tuesday.
Yeah, we had a bunch of tacos. It was really good, actually. It was a nice day. Yeah, kids are up late, hyped up, or they're all eating their sugar, their candy, and then you all got to worry about getting up for school the next morning. I just feel like we need to fix this. So remember that next election day when you see me on the ballot, people. But
Totally.
yeah, so all right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for coming up and chatting with me. I think we had
Yeah,
a
sure
good
thing. This was a good
about,
discussion.
about the state of affairs of current things happening. We see it in a lot of different areas. A lot of different communities are in, a lot of this stuff going on. And maybe if we can just all try to remember, just keep it to what we see on YouTube and stop going in and accusing people of things they aren't, digging into people's, past if it's not, like you said, appropriate for, because they're scamming or grifting or using a lie to raise money. Otherwise, we should just keep it to what we see. I think we'd
Agreed.
a much more peaceful place. Have a
Yes.
fun Halloween. If you decide to go trick-or-treating and get dressed up, well, don't do trick-or-treating. That would be weird. But if you decide to get dressed up, post some pictures so we can see your costume.
All right. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me. Have a good one.
oh, thank you for coming up. Everybody have a fun Halloween. Be safe. Don't eat too much candy. And, don't, what else? Brush your teeth before you go to bed. All right? Oh, bye, Dutchie. I'm sorry that you just came in and I just am seeing you now. Oh, he was up for a while. It was a good conversation, Dutchie. Come on. We were talking good. It wasn't about anybody. It was about, going too far on the interwebs. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and I'll see everybody again soon. Bye.